Hello and welcome back to the earnings breakdown. Today we're looking at Trent Limited, a key player in the Indian retail space and part of the Tata Group. You'll know them for their popular brands like Westside, Zudio, and the Star supermarket chain.
That's right. Trent has been on a significant expansion drive, especially with Zudio becoming a major force in value fashion. This report covers their audited financial results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31, 2025. The board approved these results on April 29, 2025. We'll be looking at both the standalone and consolidated figures today.
Excellent. Let's dive straight into the headline numbers. How did Trent perform in terms of revenue for Q4 and the full year, comparing both standalone and consolidated results? And let's get both the year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter picture.
Okay, starting with the standalone results. Revenue from operations for Q4 FY25 stood at 4,106.10 crore rupees. That's a solid increase year-over-year from 3,186.93 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, about a 29% jump, consistent with the press release mentioning 28% growth including GST. Quarter-over-quarter, however, revenue was down from 4,534.71 crore rupees in Q3 FY25, the quarter ended December 30. 2024. That's a sequential decline, which isn't unusual given the seasonality post the festive Q3. For the full year FY25, standalone revenue was 16,668.11 crore rupees, a strong 39.7% growth year-over-year from 11,926.56 crore rupees in FY24. The press release cites 39% growth, including GST.
Okay, strong annual growth but a sequential dip in Q4, likely seasonal. How does the consolidated picture compare?
On the consolidated side, revenue from operations for Q4 FY25 was 4,216.94 crore rupees. Year-over-year, that's up 28% from 3,297.70 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter-over-quarter, similar to standalone, it saw a decrease from 4,656.56 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, consolidated revenue reached 17,134.61 crore rupees, showing a robust 38.8% growth year-over-year from 12,375.11 crore rupees in FY24. The press release figure including GST was 38%.
So a very similar growth trajectory on both standalone and consolidated levels, strong annually but softer sequentially in Q4. Now let's talk profitability. The report doesn't explicitly state EBITDA, but the press release mentioned an operating EBIT. Can we use profit before tax or PBT as our main indicator here? How did PBT look for Q4 and the full year standalone and consolidated, both year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter?
Absolutely. Let's look at PBT before exceptional items. Standalone PBT for Q4 FY25 was 453.25 crore rupees. This is a significant year-over-year increase of 43.6% compared to 315.72 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter-over-quarter, standalone PBT decreased from 618.36 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, standalone PBT was 2,076.62 crore rupees, a very impressive 56.1% jump year-over-year from 1,329.97 crore rupees in FY24. This aligns perfectly with the 56% growth mentioned in the press release.
Wow, that full year PBT growth is substantial on the standalone side. What about consolidated PBT?
For consolidated PBT, before exceptional items and share of associates JV, the reported PBT in the statement for Q4 FY25 is 416.85 crore rupees. This shows a strong year-over-year growth of 38.5% from 301.03 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter-over-quarter, consolidated PBT was down from 619.56 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, consolidated PBT, before exceptional items and share of associates JV, stood at 1,943.24 crore rupees. That's a remarkable 59% increase year-over-year from 1,221.19 crore rupees in FY24. It's important to note the consolidated PBT after including the share of profit from associates, JVs, which was negative 1.10 crore rupees in Q4 and positive 86.50 crore rupees for the full year, comes to 415.75 crore rupees for Q4 and 2029.74 crore rupees for the full year FY25. This full year figure represents a 56% growth over the previous year's PBT before exceptional items, matching the press release figure.
Okay, so profitability growth outpaced revenue growth significantly, especially on an annual basis for both standalone and consolidated results. How did this translate to the bottom line, profit after tax or PAT? Let's get the year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter for both again.
Right. Looking at PAT, standalone PAT for Q4 FY25 was 349.92 crore rupees. That's down year-over-year compared to 654.28 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. However, Q4 FY24 included a large exceptional gain. If we exclude that, the underlying profit growth is strong. Quarter-over-quarter, standalone PAT decreased from 469.33 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, standalone PAT was 1,584.84 crore rupees, up 10.4% year-over-year from 1,435.82 crore rupees in FY24. Again, FY24 PAT was boosted by that exceptional item. Without it, the underlying growth is much higher, as the PBT figures suggest. Consolidated PAT, attributable to owners, for Q4 FY25 was 318.15 crore rupees, compared to 704.23 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, which also included the exceptional item impact at the consolidated level. Quarter-over-quarter, consolidated PAT decreased from 497.25 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. For the full year FY25, consolidated PAT, attributable to owners, was 1,546.72 crore rupees, a 4% increase year-over-year from 1,486.80 crore rupees. The same caveat about the FY24 exceptional item applies here.
That exceptional item in FY24 certainly complicates the direct PAT comparison. What about earnings per share or EPS?
Yes. The standalone basic EPS for Q4 FY25 was 9.84 rupees, down from 18.41 rupees in Q4 FY24 due to the exceptional item. Quarter-over-quarter, it was down from 13.20 rupees. For the full year FY25, standalone basic EPS was 44.58 rupees, up from 40.39 rupees in FY24. The consolidated basic EPS for Q4 FY25 was 8.95 rupees, down from 19.81 rupees YoY and down from 13.99 rupees QoQ. For the full year FY25, consolidated basic EPS was 43.51 rupees, slightly up from 41.82 rupees in FY24. The underlying growth, excluding the prior year's exceptional item, is much stronger, reflected in the PBT growth.
And was there any significant movement in other income?
Standalone other income was 97.04 crore rupees in Q4 FY25, up from 73.26 crore rupees YoY, but down from 50.92 crore rupees QoQ. For the full year, it was 329.37 crore rupees, slightly down from 350.93 crore rupees in FY24. Consolidated other income was 74.34 crore rupees in Q4 FY25, slightly down YoY from 76.87 crore rupees and up QoQ from 53.64 crore rupees. Full year consolidated other income was 218.56 crore rupees, down from 289.27 crore rupees in FY24. Nothing extraordinarily large, but a contributor.
Let's talk margins. The press release mentioned a standalone operating EBIT margin of 9.3% for Q4 FY25. Can we calculate the net profit margins from the P&L?
We can. Standalone net profit margin PAT divided by revenue from operations for Q4 FY25 was approximately 8.5%. For the full year FY25, it was around 9.5%. This is slightly up from the 8.75% mentioned for FY24 in the ratio sheet, which lightly adjusts for the exceptional item. Consolidated net profit margin, PAT attributable to owners divided by revenue from operations for Q4 FY25 was about 7.5%. For the full year FY25, it was around 9.0%, slightly up from the 8.51% mentioned for FY24 in the ratio sheet. The margins show strong profitability, especially considering the retail sector context. The standalone operating EBIT margin improvement mentioned in the press release, 9.3% versus 8.3% year-over-year for Q4, suggests good operational control.
Good point. And you mentioned exceptional items multiple times affecting the FY24 numbers. Can you clarify what that was?
Yes, the notes in both standalone and consolidated results, as well as the press release, confirm that FY24 included an exceptional gain. Specifically, it was 543.35 crore rupees standalone and 576.07 crore rupees consolidated, related to a gain on the reassessment of estimates for lease terms under IND AS 116. Its absence in FY25 makes the current year's results cleaner from an exceptional items perspective and highlights the strong underlying operational profit growth.
That's important context. Moving to the balance sheet. Any quick highlights on assets, liabilities, or equity from the standalone and consolidated views?
Looking at the year-end figures, March 31st, 2025 versus March 31st, 2024. Standalone. Total assets grew significantly to 9,698.87 crore rupees from 7,458.08 crore rupees. Total equity rose to 5,914.40 crore rupees from 4,447.19 crore rupees. Total debt, including lease liabilities as per Note 4, stood at 2,248.24 crore rupees versus 1,738.32 crore rupees. Strong growth across the board. Consolidated total assets increased to 9,419.64 crore rupees from 7,161.75 crore rupees. Total equity reached 5,583.36 crore rupees, including non-controlling interest of 121.62 crore rupees, from 4,102.59 crore rupees. Total consolidated debt, including lease liabilities, was 2,279.49 crore rupees versus 1,752.99 crore rupees. Similar, healthy expansion.
Okay, significant expansion reflected there. What about cash flows and dividends?
Both standalone and consolidated cash flow statements are provided. Standalone net cash from operating activities for FY25 was 1,668.26 crore rupees, up nicely from 1,348.39 crore rupees in FY24. Consolidated net cash from operating activities for FY25 was 1,660.90 crore rupees, also up significantly from 1,348.98 crore rupees in FY24. Shows healthy cash generation from the core business. Regarding dividends, the board has recommended a final dividend of 5 rupees per equity share for FY25, amounting to 177.74 crore rupees. This is subject to shareholder approval, with payment scheduled on or after July 7, 2025. The cash flow statement also shows dividend paid during FY25 related to FY24 dividend was 113.59 crore rupees.
Now, segment performance. Did the report break down how different parts of the business performed?
Interestingly, both the standalone and consolidated notes explicitly state that the main business is retailing and trading of merchandise, and accordingly there are no separate reportable segments as per the accounting standards.
Oh, okay. So no formal segment reporting, but the press release did talk about the different formats like Westside, Zudio, and Star. What insights did that give us?
That's the key distinction. While not formal segments, the commentary gives us operational insights. Store network, they ended FY25 with 1,043 fashion stores. They opened 40 Westside and 244 Zudio stores during the year. The portfolio includes 248 Westside, 765 Zudio, including 2 in UAE, and 30 other lifestyle stores. Presence is across 242 cities, adding 64 new cities, towns in FY25, many in Tier 2-3. Zudio. The chairman highlighted Zudio revenues exceeded $1 billion in FY25. It's clearly a massive growth engine, focusing on value fashion and expanding rapidly. Westside. Continues steady performance. Online business, Westside.com and Tata Neu grew 43% in FY25, contributing over 6% of Westside revenues, which is significant. Star Business, Trent Hypermarket. Consolidated results include the proportionate share of profit, equity method, not revenue. Star now has 78 stores, added 12 in FY25. It saw 17% operating revenue growth in Q4 FY25, driven by own brands now over 70% of revenue, staples and fresh offerings. Emerging categories, beauty, personal care, innerwear and footwear are gaining traction, contributing over 20% of revenues. Operational efficiency. Mention transition to RFID tracking and volume growth exceeding 40% year-over-year, indicating strong operational leverage.
That paints a clearer picture of the drivers. So summarizing the overall performance for FY25,
it was a very strong year. Both standalone and consolidated results show robust 38 to 40% year-over-year revenue growth and even stronger 56% PBT growth before exceptional items. This was clearly driven by aggressive store network expansion, especially Zudio, strong execution and good traction in emerging categories and online channels. The 40% plus volume growth highlights the customer acceptance of their offerings.
Were there any other significant notes or events mentioned in the reports or press release?
Key takeaways include the final dividend of 5 rupees per share, confirmation that the 5,780 non-convertible debentures issued in FY22 are due for redemption in May 2026, the successful implementation of RFID across the fashion portfolio. Zudio crossing the billion-dollar revenue mark is a major milestone. The strategic focus on own brands in the Star business, now exceeding 70% contribution. Continued profitable growth in the Westside online channel.
Now, a crucial part, the auditor's report. What did Deloitte Haskins and Sells LLP say about Trent's standalone and consolidated results?
This is a very positive point for Trent. For both the standalone financial results and the consolidated financial results, the auditors, Deloitte Haskins and Sells LLP, have issued an unmodified opinion. This means they believe the financial statements give a true and fair view and are free from material misstatement. There are no qualifications, adverse opinions, or emphasis of matter paragraphs drawing attention to major issues.
So, clean audit reports for both?
The consolidated report does mention reliance on the work of other auditors for 3 subsidiaries and 2 associates, which is standard practice when group structures involve entities audited by different firms. However, this did not lead to any modification of their overall opinion on the consolidated results. Furthermore, the CFO Neeraj Basu provided a declaration confirming that the auditors issued unmodified opinions on both sets of results for FY25. This provides significant assurance about the reliability of the reported numbers.
That's excellent news for the company and its investors. So based on these strong results and the clean audit reports, what's the outlook?
Alright, so the outlook appears quite positive. Trent has demonstrated strong execution with its rapid expansion, particularly Zudio's success, tapping into the value fashion segment. The chairman's message reinforces their focus on growth, building brand density in key markets, and leveraging their direct-to-customer model. The Star business also seems to be finding its footing with the focus on own brands. Key drivers will be continued store expansion, maintaining operational efficiencies like leveraging RFID, growing emerging categories, and scaling the online business profitably. Potential risks include heightened competition in the retail space, economic slowdowns impacting consumer spending, and managing the complexities of rapid expansion, including real estate costs and supply chain management.
Alright, let's wrap it up. What are the main takeaways from Trent's FY25 results?
Trent delivered a stellar performance in FY25. Key highlights are the impressive 38 to 40% revenue growth and 56% underlying PBT growth across both standalone and consolidated levels. This was driven by aggressive expansion, particularly the Zudio format, which crossed the billion-dollar revenue mark. Profitability was strong, and operational metrics like volume growth and online traction were positive. Crucially, the company received clean, unmodified audit opinions from Deloitte for both standalone and consolidated results, adding a layer of confidence. The declaration of a 5 rupees per share dividend is also a positive signal. Overall, Trent appears to be executing its growth strategy very effectively.
A very strong performance indeed, underscored by those clean audit reports. Thanks for that detailed analysis.
My pleasure.
And thank you all for tuning in. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more financial insights. We'll catch you on the next episode.